Hello again everyone. Today we're going to do another comparison between two of the most, I would say, popular model of QKC IEMs, the QKC VK6 and the QKC VK4. So let's start. And well, before we get started with the comparison, as always, if you like this video, please consider subscribing and giving this video a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. Also, if you have any kind of question, comment, feedback, whatever, leave a comment down below. I answer them all and also give you hearts. And well, without further ado, let's get started. So on my left are the QKC VK6 and on my right are the VK4s. And let's start with the most important thing, which is audio quality. And again, as always, let's start with the highs. So if I had to describe the highs on the VK6 with one word only, it would be thin. They are one of the worst highs that I've heard in a very long time. Granted, I only review budget IEM, so there is not a lot of quality, let's say, but these are one of the worst highs that I've heard so far. On the other hand, the VK4s, the highs on the VK4s are very tame, it's not a particularly bright IEM, but it's also not very dark. The highs are very well controlled and very well extended, I would say. Don't quote me on that. But the highs on the VK4s are just far better, are very superior, because they don't peak, they don't feel thin. Although they are not as pronounced, still they are great. And now for the mids. So the mids on the VK6 are, I would say, a little bit recessed, but the mids are not very crazy, not bad, they are just there. Again, they feel a little bit recessed, and that is the only thing that I can really say about the mids on the VK6, because they don't have anything special, but they aren't bad. But the mids on the VK4 are just very nice. They have a very nice amount of detail, and also they feel, I wouldn't say forward, but they aren't recessed. They just have a lot of body, and that gives the whole sound signature a very nice body. I really like my vocals present in the mix. So the vocals on the VK4 and particularly, let's say, high quality, they feel a little bit brittle sometimes, but for the price, those are one of the best mids that I've heard. And now, well, for the bass. Both of these IEMs kind of have a little bit of bass emphasis, but the bass on the VK6 is very unnatural sounding, It can go deep, yeah, but it doesn't feel like a natural deepness, let's say. The bass guitar doesn't feel like a bass guitar, feels more like a synthesizer, and the kick drums don't have that natural punchiness to them. Whereas the VK4s, the bass on the VK4s is really nice. Again, these have a little bit more bass emphasis than the VK6, but the bass is much better done on the VK4s. It's not a very overpowering bass, it is boomy, it is thumpy, but it doesn't muffle the other frequencies. And I don't want to say that it's a very natural bass, because it is not, but it feels natural in presentation. I know that sounds kind of confusing, but if you have listened to the VK4s, you would know what I'm talking about. So a quick summary. Although these are the VK6 and these are the VK4s, you would think that the VK6 would be like an improvement or something like that, but in reality it's more like a downgrade. So the VK6 again are thin, are picky in the highs, and they don't have a lot of body in the mids, and also the bass sounds very unnatural, so it feels like a very metallic sound signature, if that makes sense. But yeah, this doesn't sound natural at all. But the VK4s, again, is not super natural sounding, I'm not comparing this to, let's say, $1,000 IEMs or anything like that, but they sound much better than they should. I think these are around the similar price point, I think, don't quote me on that, I have very bad memory. but the VK4s just are better in every single aspect, except for one. We'll talk about that later. But the highs feel very well controlled, very well extended, nice amount of detail, and the mids feel like they have a lot of meat, if that makes sense. But yeah, the mids don't feel forward or backward, they feel there and they are very present in the mix. And the bass, although it has a little bit of emphasis, the bass feels natural. Although sometimes can feel, let's say, a little bit bloated, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel natural, it feels like it is congested, but that is in very, very rare occasions. So overall, VK4s are much better than the VK6. So if you have the VK4s already, don't bother buying this, like this is not worth it. I would recommend to get a better cable for the VK4s instead of buying the VK6. And now let's talk about build quality. So as you can see, the VK6 have a better build quality than the VK4s. It is mostly plastic, yeah, but you have this very nice metallic faceplate. Also you have this little fin that really makes these IMs very comfortable. You have here your connector and your nozzle, which I think looks very nice. So overall, again, a very nice build quality for I think around $15, something like that. And well, the VK4s are all plastic. I don't know if this is like a little screw or something, or is it just for looks, but that is one of my main gripes with the VK4s, is that they are all plastic and they feel very lightweight and not very reassuring. And this doesn't have a nozzle, it's just like it has a little lip so your ear tip doesn't fall off. The same type of connector, and well, I really like this color combination. There is also a black version of the VK6 and a black with a carbon fiber kind of look for the VK4s. So in this case, the build quality is better on the VK6 than on the VK4s. Comfort is kind of the same, just this, but this thing makes the VK6 better for gaming, which I will talk about later. And also, they both have the same ear tips, kind of softer than average, but nothing special. And well, another important difference that we're mentioning is the cable. This is the VK4 cable. If you have seen my video, this is a very not a great cable. It feels cheap. That is the word that I'm going to use. Over here is just like two cables, not weave or anything, just thrown there. Again, not the greatest cable, but for the price, yeah. But this is the VK6 cable. It's a much better cable. It feels not as soft, but it feels more reassuring. So the VK6 have better cable, but they have a worse sound quality, so VK6 cable on the VK4s. Both have a mic, so this is the mic quality on the VK6. This is the mic quality of the VK6. And this is the mic quality on the VK4. This is the mic quality of the VK4. Surprisingly, the VK4 mic, which is this, is just much better. It sounds more cleaner than the VK6. So if mic is something important for you, again, go with the VK4s. And now quickly, let's talk about gaming. Both of these IMs are great for gaming, but personally, I will go still with the VK4s, because the sound signature of the VK6 make them very fatiguing. Again, these are very bright, but not in a very natural way, so gunshots and explosions and all of that really sound very ear-piercing, and I don't like that. Whereas the VK4 sound a little bit, I don't want to say muffled, but you know, the gunshots aren't as high pitch. And well, the soundstage on the VK4s is massive compared to the VK6. Also, imaging is better here. So again, for gaming, the VK4s are much better. So now, which one is the best? So I think that the answer is obvious. The VK4s are much better. Again, I don't want to repeat myself, but these just sound much better. They are let's say a more relaxed sound signature, and this try to be like a TNT2 kind of sound signature, you know, where it's bright but there is nice detail, the bass sounds natural and all of that, but they feel miserable. So yeah, I won't recommend this at all. just forget about them. Get the VK4s. If you don't like the cable, get a better cable. They are a ton in the market. Also, ear tips. If you want, I would recommend the SpinFit CP145 or the CP100. They improve the soundstage a little bit. They open it a little bit more, but the bass is not as bassy. So with that being said, I will still have links in the description for these atrocities, and also I will have links for the VK4s alongside with a cable. And well, that will be pretty much it, guys. Again, if you like this video, please consider subscribing and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next review. Take care.